in all of the previous examples, we've been using lots of conditional statements. So if P, then Q. So it makes a sort of condition, like if P is true, then Q is true. But here we're looking at biconditionals. So if you think about what's biconditional mean, we think like bicycle has two wheels, bi means two, so there must be two conditions for these types of statements. So the symbol for biconditional is a double-headed arrow, just like this one, which means if and only if. So P is true if and only if Q is true, which is kind of like saying if P then Q and if Q then P. So true when only both conditions are true. So there's two conditions in one statement. Here's an example where we need to write the pair of conditional statements as a biconditional. So it's like one statement with two conditions. So if P is a prime number, then it has exactly two factors. And if P has exactly two factors, only if P is a prime number. If I was going to write this as a biconditional, I would say P is prime, and then the notation for if and only if, since we don't want to write that out every single time, it tends to be this IFF. So P is prime if and only if it has exactly two factors. And here we can break this down if we want, and we could say if P is a prime number, it's like our P, then it has exactly two factors, it's like our Q. P is exactly two factors, it's our Q again. P is prime, that's our P. So it's like saying P, if P then Q, and then the next statement right away is saying if Q then P. Well, we can just shorten that and say P is true if and only if Q is true. And that's where we lots of times get lots of definitions, because we know that P is prime if and only if it has exactly two factors. So it must have exactly two factors. So it kind of defines it in a way. This next one looks a lot more like a definition. We want to rewrite it using a biconditional though, an if and only if. So the definition is a quadrilateral is a polygon with four sides. Now, what is being defined here? Well, we're saying a polygon is a quadrilateral if and only if it has four sides. So that would be our conditional. Now we can't say a quadrilateral is a polygon if and only if it has four sides. We have to think which one is more specific. So here we say a polygon is a quadrilateral if and only if it has four sides. So I kind of thought about it in my head that, if a polygon is a quadrilateral, then it has four sides. If it has four sides, then it is a quadrilateral. So that's what makes it biconditional. It goes both ways, so we can have that double arrow and write it as an if and only if statement.